Hello, and you're very welcome to the second episode of our Women in AFI series. Of course, in the first episode, we got to talk to Kat Wallace from the UL Vikings. Thank you very much to Kat for taking the time to chat to us. This week, I actually am being supported by my main guy, Fionn. Fionn, how are you, buddy?
Doing very well. Happy to be part of the series. Sorry I couldn't get on for the first one, but I'm hoping to be part of this as we go on. So I'm very excited. I think it's a great opportunity for us to showcase a very important part of the sport and a growing part of a growing sport. So it's really cool. I think we're going to get a lot of good stuff.
Excellent stuff. And yes, we are delighted to welcome on our second guest for our second episode. It is Evie Bennett from UCD and the South Dublin Panthers flag team and the Irish Wolfhounds flag team as well. Is there anyone else, Evie, that I am forgetting to mention?
No, I think three is enough for sure.
Three's enough for now. Three is enough
Yeah,
for now for
exactly,
sure. Well,
exactly.
how are you doing?
Yeah, really good. I'm actually out in San Diego at the moment, both playing a bit of flag and surfing, so life's pretty good to be fair. It's pretty good.
It does. It does sound pretty good. Well, we're stuck here in Dublin, where it's been, I think, 2 weeks of constant rain now since we had those lovely temperatures in June. So we're back to the old way of living in Ireland, where it rains even on summer. So
I can nearly
Lovely.
surf
I'm
to
not
work now at
jealous.
this point, Dara.
We could actually surf to work. Actually, yeah, that's true. I'm not jealous or anything.
Perfect.
Totally
No.
not. But yeah, so we obviously contacted you and wanted to chat to you because, like I said, we are building this series, wanting to showcase that, of course, the sport of American football is not just for men; it's obviously open to women in various facets. And you are obviously one of the girls or women, sorry, that have played both codes of football as well, flag and kitted. And I'd love to know what sort of got you interested in wanting to play American football in the first place.
Well, it's actually kind of a very funny story because it was very just by accident, if that makes sense. So in college in UC, they have a sports fair, and they just have all the college clubs kind of just have like little stands. And me and my friend were helping out with the surf one, and they do it alphabetically, so it's like A to S. So every time we'd be like walking past, and it was like the American football, and I was kind of like, oh, that kind of seems kind of fun, like really random, but like, oh, it kind of looks cool, like with all the pads and everything and the lads. And then she, me and my friend walking past, and she just decided to drag me over and was like, well, Evie wants to sign up because I'd mentioned to her. And I was just too awkward. So I was like, yeah, definitely, I definitely do. And then I paid my €20, and then I just decided I might as well put it to good use. And here we are, I guess, which is kind of crazy.
So Evie, pure awkwardness, and then the fact as a student you'd already paid 20 quid is what got you in. What kept you around? What was it that once you went to your first practice and you kind of got a sense for it? What was it that appealed to you actually playing?
Like, I think, like, honestly, it's really the lads on the team at the end of the day. Like, I'm quite a sporty person. I do like a lot of different sports, but like the lads were just so like, oh, and like you'll come back, and like, did you have fun? And the way that they set it up as well, like even just for rookies in general, I think was really good. They had like different, like I knew nothing about. I feel like some of the rookies were walking down, they'd be like, I'm going to be a wide receiver, I'm going to be like a DB, and I was just there like, yeah, I'm gonna be the quarterback. And then obviously now that's really embarrassing because that was the only position I knew. And the only reason I said that, but like obviously I was never going to be that, which is a really funny thing about it. But anyway, what was really good, they set up like different stations. So like one station would be like, these are like the DB drills, and these are the wide receiver drills, and these are like the tackling drills. And it was just really fun to just like walk around and do the different stations. I just thought it was really engaging. And then again, just fair play to lads, like they were always just, they just made it so fun that you just always wanted to come back.
Yeah, and yeah, you mentioned there about playing quarterback, and like I think it would have been tough maybe to dethrone Aaron Mooney's spot as
It's
starting
more,
quarterback on
I,
the team.
you know, it's more I just didn't want to make anyone feel bad, just coming
Well,
in as a
look, listen,
rookie, you have to give the others a chance.
you have
So,
to get your feet under the table first, I guess, yeah, before you
yeah,
start kicking people and making them lose their jobs. But of course,
exactly.
just last week we had the Shamrock Bowl, and unfortunately UCD couldn't repeat their
Mhm.
heroics from last year, and this time losing out to the Rebels in a very close game in Cork. You are over in San Diego with the time difference, but did you get to catch the game?
Yeah, I got kind of the last half because I think it started like 6 a.m. San Diego time, which I feel like I meant to get up for, and then I possibly hit snooze maybe one too many times. But I was definitely up for kind of the last 3 quarters, second half really. But I think everyone thought that, I don't know what they thought was going on with me, but I was just there like jumping, and like because I was in like a shared hostel, so everyone's kind of looking at me like, "Hey girl, you okay?" And I was like, "Don't talk to me right now. Not now. I'll explain after. I can't."
And that's it. Like the house that you're living in there now, would you sort of be the only one that would have been interested in the game on Sunday? So they kind of maybe would be giving you a bit of a perplexing look, saying, "Why are you watching Irish American football at like 8 a.m. in the morning?"
Well, you see, there's actually a few Americans here, so they're kind of walking by and they're like, "It's not the football season at the moment. Like, what's going on, man? Like, what the hell?" And I was like, "Oh, it's our college team from home." And they're like, "That's actually so class." And I was a bit like, "Okay, but watch, but don't judge, because like those are my boys, and you'll probably be like, oh, like your standards for American football are like so high." But then when they were watching it, they're like, "Girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is as good as college games like we've watched, like from their own colleges," which I genuinely thought was like really cool. And I was like, "Oh, for real?" And they were like, "Yeah, genuinely, like this is good football." So I was like, well, American seal of approval.
I think that is a great testament to what the game was on Sunday, because I think if you
Yeah,
are
like
going to show anybody over in the States a game from Ireland, I think that game on Sunday is the game to show. It was basically you score, we'll score all day, and then it
literally,
threw in
it was insane. The
yeah.
lads were literally there. There were some of them, I think one of them was from Texas State, possibly. I'm always so bad at remembering the names, but like they were literally like talking about plays and being like, "I wouldn't want to be on that T line against whatever. I wouldn't be a running back. I wouldn't want to be a running back against like these people and stuff." So it was kind of really cool. And although they were all having the laugh, and I was also kind of sitting here like, "Okay, but be quiet." I'm scared.
Okay, I have a vested interest in this place, so come on, you kind of have to work with me here. I
Yeah,
totally
no, like
understand
they
that.
they were
Like,
set they were yeah, they were like so invested, which was really cool. But then I was also like, but I'm also so scared. And then sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, that Rebels player is really good." And I'm like, "God, I hate to admit it, but he is," like, because you're like, "Oh no, we're rooting for the blue people, the blue people."
I know it like that. It was an incredible game, and same with last
Mm.
year. Great game too. So hopefully, they get to have the rubber match now, maybe next year's Shamrock Bowl to see for sure.
Yeah,
But look, listen,
that'd be class. Be pretty fun.
it would be. Hopefully, it's not in Cork and maybe somewhere closer. I'm going to
Yeah,
nominate Athlone as somewhere like that, maybe. But hey,
why
we'll
not?
see. We'll see.
Why not?
But look, listen. Let's talk more about yourself. Like you mentioned there about the origins of getting into it and stuff like that. You, I believe, played in some of the varsity games before the start of the year this year. Was that sort of
Mm.
your first experience in a proper match against another team in pads?
Yeah, so that was kind of like the first. Again, I think UCD is just. I'm gonna say this so much, but like they're just so good for the rookies that they really made enters about the rookies, and it was just a really nice way to get into the sport and just kind of like get those reps and like really, really be included. And it was very rookie focused, and you had a lot of the more like senior veteran players kind of coaching then. So I think it was really nice for them to get that experience as well. And it's even going down on the bus to Limerick and stuff. It was just super fun.
And you've already made a name for yourself in the flag football scene, but is kidded football something you see yourself sticking with a little bit, or is that going to be kind of a side game as you focus more on flag?
I think like the flag has even got me more into the kitted, to be honest, because I don't know, yeah, like I just understand the game like a lot better and feel a lot more confident about it, I think. Like I know the one thing about the contact that I think was like very daunting was like the playbook and all that. And it's just like, oh God, my brain. And sure, I'd constantly be asking a lot. We'd be down on the bus. I'm like, okay, so if this means this and that means that. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm just so I feel like the flag is a little bit like brought back and a little bit simpler, and it gives you like that little bit more confidence in the game. But I feel like yeah, it's only made me want to get into the kitted next season even more now that I have like a lot more confidence with like how to run routes, like catching the ball and just stuff like that. I think it's definitely kind of pushed me to want to do the kitted even more next year, I think.
Yeah, and I guess I asked the same question to Kat last week as well about it. So the first hit you had to experience then, we always say like the first hit is the hardest hit you're going to take when you play American football. And is that something you would agree with too? Was it a bit of a shock, or was it something that I guess you could say you were kind of anticipating for a while, or maybe you were told beforehand it's gonna hurt?
Yeah, I feel like I just didn't really think about it that much. And then we were just like scrimmaging one day, and one of the lads just absolutely like I was playing in a running back position, so one of the lads just absolutely like went for it, tanked me, and I just kind of hit the ground. I just like lay there for a second. I was like, ah, that actually wasn't that bad. I was like, that was kind of fun. Do it again, do it again. I was like, oh, that felt so like obviously sore, but like honestly kind of fun. It was really weird because with the surfing, it's kind of similar that like you kind of get like tumbled by a wave. And I was like, oh, sure, I've been tumbled by worse waves, lads, hit harder.
You are definitely a running back with that mindset. You want to get hit again, definitely I'm a running back.
Yeah, it was just kind of, yeah.
How
go
have
on.
you coped with the bruises? I think that's something all of us always get funny looks, is like you kind of come out of the games black and blue. Has anyone made any comments, maybe who's not aware of your burgeoning sporting career in the sights of NFL or American football? Have they raised a few eyebrows yet?
I feel like anyone who actually knows me well would just be like, oh, where did that one come from this time? Do you know that way? They're like, they're
Is
not
that a
even friends.
surfboard? Is that a surfboard or a
Yeah,
defensive tackle that's after doing that one to you?
literally. It's actually so funny. I'd rock down to training with the lads and they'd be like, that is the biggest bruise I've ever seen. Like, who the hell did that to you? I was like, my surfboard. And they're like, what? Like, literally, even the lads would be like, that's terrible. So I feel like I've gotten away lightly now with the bruises from the football, to be fair. So
All right, fair enough. Let's talk then a little bit about the flags. It's unfortunately UCD don't have a team in flag at the moment. You are plying your trade at the South Dublin Panthers. How has things been playing with the Panthers?
yeah, again, like just like UCD, they're just the nicest group of people, and I think it just makes it like that much more enjoyable of experience when it's just like you can just go out and it's just like you're just like all immediately friends and just such good camaraderie. Like there's actually quite a few of the UCD boys on the Panthers team as well, like Dougie and Brandon and Rory, and we had Dalton who played with us a little bit last year with flag with UCD. So that's also kind of nice that it's nearly like a mix and you know people. So it's kind of nice in that way.
Are
And then we
more
have
of a female representation on the Panthers flag team? Do you have a bit more what would you say? A bit more
A mix.
of a group there with you?
Yeah, 100%. So there's like Jenny, who is the loveliest girl ever and the biggest baller you'll ever come across. She's on the Hound squad at the minute as well, and she's great. And there's just loads of girls, some more experienced, some more rookies. But yeah, like it kind of is nice having that mix. And again, like everyone is so supportive of everyone, which is just also really nice.
And then of course now we have the European Championships next month in back down in Limerick. Obviously the Wolfhounds are sending a male and female team down there. I don't know. Are you able to say if you're in the squad or not, or do you know if you're in the squad or not?
Yeah, so they announced to us anyway, all the coaches I called everyone the other day. So I made the squad of 12, which is really exciting. Really exciting mainly because it was actually quite a competitive process. That makes it even better. There was kind of a squad of between like 20 to 30 girls, and honestly, all of them were amazing. And any of the coaches will tell you that there were no easy decisions made when it came to picking players. And I think it's the same to be said for the boys. Like, it's just great that honestly both teams were so competitive to get on. It really just shows kind of the promise that we have for the sport in Ireland.
And Evie, was that a goal that you set yourself to make the national team, or was it just show up with pure raw talent and let the coaches have to make a decision?
Oh, like I don't know. Like I never started the sport being like, yeah, by the end of the season I'll just be on like a national team. I never think that's anyone's ever insight when they've just started a sport that you'd ever be picked for a national team, which is still just so wild to me. But I think just any time we had training, I just went down with the mindset of like, I just need to go down, put the head down, like show a good attitude, and just figure out how to be better. And at the end of the day, if that kind of makes me good enough to be on the squad, like amazing. And if not, as I said, like the competition is so fierce and all the girls are so dedicated and like there's barely anything in it. So like even just being able to go down and train and just get better was really just the win for me. And obviously now that I am on the team, it's kind of like cherry on top of the cake type of thing.
Excellent stuff, excellent. And how many more sessions will you have with the Wolfhounds then before the European Championship start?
Hopefully a few. I'm not 100% sure how many, but obviously it'd be nice to get down, get training. Like it's good that we have like girls from like all over the country, but obviously then that also does make it a little bit more difficult when we're trying to group people together. But we've been trying to do north and south sessions as well. We've a lot of people who are kind of on the ground coaching and helping us, which is also amazing.
Yeah, excellent. So going into next season, looking ahead after European Championships and looking at the 2024 season is kids obviously is something that you're gonna obviously want to play a bit more of. Like you said, you've had reps at running back. Is there any other positions that you would like to give a try before the season starts to see if maybe that could be the one that you could try to master ahead of the start of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I think my main problem is that I actually just don't. I feel like I don't know what I want to pick. And any of the guys at the Wolfhounds training will tell you, I'm always constantly like, oh, can I try this? Can I play this position? Can I play that position? And so I think for the contact, I might want to just bury the head and just maybe pick one and get good at that first. But I don't know. I quite like the running back position, although with Sean McVay, it's going to be hard to beat him out for any reps, to be fair. But it's also kind of nice to have someone to like really work off and kind of see what the best person in that position looks like. And we also have another rookie who started my year as well called Tom, and he's an animal as well. Honestly, all the guys are amazing. So definitely have a lot of tough competition there, but I still think running back is quite fun, or maybe wide receiver. But again, maybe a DB. The DBs are good fun too. So again, just me wanting to play everything.
Yeah,
So
I was
you're
going to
telling me
ask
now.
Sorry, Dara, go ahead.
Go on. I was just going to say though. So Aaron Mooney's position is safe now. You're saying?
No, I just, I feel like that's the one that I
No
definitely
one's
get
safe.
if I wanted. So there's no challenge there, I think I wouldn't want to take it off Aaron, that way. I don't want to show anyone up for anything. So I better leave well enough alone.
That's fair enough. Once this gets aired, you're getting a lot of angry messages, I think, from Aaron now after this.
No, never. Never. Aaron's
I
like
was going to ask
everyone's
Evie.
mom. Like he's honestly.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was going
okay.
to
Yeah, go
ask
on.
you, Evie, any temptation to flip over to the other side and maybe put Sean on his arse a few times and kind of stake a claim that way, maybe?
Well, I mean, when you put it like that, absolutely. Like that definitely makes it a bit more tempting. Although I don't know if I'd be able to, but I definitely give it a whack. Yeah, like the GBs just sound really fun, and again, just even to work with Dara Farrell's kind of one of the coaches that works with the GBs, and he just seems like an amazing coach. And he'd nearly make you want to play that position just to like be coached by someone like him. But at the same time, our offensive coach Mark as well, also just amazing. It's just like you nearly want to play the positions because you want to be coached by those people, which I think is just such a good like testament to the team.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, you're talking to two defenders here. It's a lot more fun to tackle them than to be tackled, for sure.
Okay, good point.
But look, listen, I want to ask as well, because part of the reason we're making this series is we want to try and encourage anyone that's interested in or potentially could be interested in playing American football to pursue it, to find their local team or their local kid or flag team, or really even their local youth team, because we're seeing so many more youth teams start up now, which is great too. But especially for women too, if you were to try and give any advice to anyone who's interested in taking part in American football, but may have a little bit of skepticism, what would you tell them?
I think I suppose it depends what their skepticism is about. And I think a lot of like barrier sport sometimes can just be like accessibility. It's like I know if you're in college, like see if your college has a team, and like if they don't, if you could like set one up or different things like that. And just to know that like any team, like obviously I've worked with UCD and the Panthers quite a bit, but like both those teams individually have been just so welcoming, and they just don't put it. I feel like a lot of people feel like pressure, like, oh, like what if I started and didn't like it, or if I didn't really want to play. Like I know with UCD, I didn't play too much kid this year just because I was just a little bit scared of getting injured because I'm on internship for nursing, and obviously like with flag and stuff, but like I still was always made feel 110% part of the team. I was always on the sidelines, helping them out. They were always so grateful for any help that I gave. Like I was always included in just every aspect of the sport, and even, you know, going down to practice, if I wanted to run around and catch a few balls, like in any way that you want to be included, like you will be included by teams, I think, especially a team like UCD or the Panthers. And I can definitely say that I've been included all the time, so it's really nice.
Evie, you told us at the top as well that you're a pretty sporty person, and that's kind of encouraged you to get involved once you dipped your toe in. Have you had a conversation with anyone else? Obviously, Ireland, I think, has a great legacy of women's sports. We've got the Women's World Cup in the soccer coming up. The Gaelic Games is always really strong. Women's basketball is really strong in this country as well. How have you had any conversations with friends, like sports colleagues, other teammates in different sports? Is there much of an appetite? What kind of response do you get when you tell people all the aspects of American football that you're involved in? And is there much interest? Is there skepticism? What kind of response do you get?
I think kind of the initial thing is people are like they're a little bit surprised that we have it in Ireland because obviously it's like American football, but then they kind of hear a bit more about it and they're like, that's actually so cool, like that's so sick. And I even like when people are walking by, like they'd stop and kind of like have a look at the sessions and stuff. So I think it definitely is a sport that like is going to be great. And when I have talked to people about it, they're like, that's actually really cool, like that's really fun. And even the tag aspect of it, you can't just say to people it's kind of like tag rugby, but tag American football, kind of like the same sort of thing. And I think it's definitely something people will be a lot more interested in once they kind of hear a little bit about it. So I've definitely gotten like really good feedback on it, and kind of, yeah, people are interested even possibly trying it out.
Excellent. Well, sure, if they're in North Dublin, the Pirates are always looking for players, so you know where to send them to as well.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Listen, Evie, it's been fantastic to speak to you about your history playing American football. There is one question I have to ask though as well. Who is your NFL team?
Yeah.
And be careful because we may have a falling out.
Oh, that's kind of scary. Well, I kind of have two.
Okay.
Which I don't know if is allowed, but they're both birds, so I feel like maybe it is allowed.
Oh, I think that
But I really like the Seattle Seahawks.
We're best friends. We are best friends right now. We are.
Because I feel like my dad, like that's literally just because what I really knew about the sport was my dad really, really liked that team growing up. And anytime he traveled to the States, he'd always bring me back like little caps and stuff. And I remember once he brought me back a Seahawks cap, and I was like, this is so cool. This is the coolest thing ever. I thought I was class. So and then obviously the Philadelphia Eagles as well. It was just obviously a team that did very well the first year that I kind of paid attention to American football, and so I'm gonna stick with them. So I kind of have those two for those two reasons.
That's fair enough. Seahawks is a great choice. Fantastic choice.
I'm a
see Seahawks fan.
There, Evie, you've picked a really shite bird team in the Seattle Seahawks and a really good bird team in the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, I'm a Washington fan, so I know very well how good the Eagles are. And I also am a Dara fan, so I know very well how bad the Seahawks are, thankfully.
They may be bad, but you know what? they're releasing their throwback unis tomorrow, and they're going to at least look good being bad next season. So that's going to be
You
something.
Yeah,
hope so.
exactly.
You hope so. You haven't seen any background images yet at all.
I
We gotta
don't
pick
need to. I know what their uniforms used to look like back
Steelers,
in the 90s, and I'm all for it.
Steelers Bumblebee jerseys coming right up.
perfect. You gotta
Absolutely.
go with
Look,
the team with the good unis.
well, that's it. And that's why no one supports Washington, because their uniforms are awful.
We got a lovely new logo.
It's a W.
No, we haven't had many.
A child could have
many
done that.
W's on the scoreboard. I think that's the problem. We need a few W's on the scoreboard.
Yeah,
To remind
not
them
just on the
low.
uniforms.
Get one
I
big
mean,
W in the middle of the field. That's the best one you'll get all season.
that's us. That's us.
But look, Evie, we're gonna wrap up here. Again, thank you so much. If there is anyone interested around the Panthers flag, or even with the even maybe in UCD at the moment, and interest in playing for the college, I'm guessing the best ways are probably through the socials to get in contact with them.
Yeah, exactly. I know for both, their social media for both UCD and Panthers are super good. They're really informative and they're very good at replying as well. So if you're in UCD or the South Dublin area at all, both clubs have both contact and flag teams, and both very successful contact and flag teams. So if you're looking for a good team with just really honestly wonderful, very inclusive people, I couldn't recommend either of those teams more.
Nice uniforms as well. Given we were just
Yeah,
talking about nice
yeah,
uniforms, both of those
the
teams have very
UCD,
slick uniforms.
we've had some pretty good combos this year, to be fair.
Yeah,
Seal of approval.
Even with the Panthers flag uniform is nice too. I do like that Panthers flag uniform. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I think we have some possible sleeveless versions dropping soon, hopefully.
Nice. Oh, did you just drop an exclusive on the show that maybe you shouldn't have?
Under Center podcast exclusive.
Oh,
well, I don't know. I
You might be getting messages
Dalton.
pretty quick.
Ben is going to message you saying, "What did you do? What did you do?"
It's actually more Dalton has this tape and he just tapes up the sleeves, so it's more of a DIY, if you will. But possibly, if they're not doing it already, then maybe this will convince them to do it.
Okay, well, there you go. Now, Ben, get the sleeveless shirt sorted. Come on now. No more messing around. We don't want to be doing any DIY jobs. No. Well, look, listen. We've tried to do the same. We had a competition with the Pirates for anyone to design our new flag jerseys as well, which was actually a really good competition. Loads of entries, was great. Really happy with the winner. They're in production at the moment. We can't wait to get them, and I think they're going to be class too. Because I think we have old kid uniforms as our unis. We did last week anyway, didn't we, Fionn? It's time for a change though.
Yeah, I think all the flag teams. Yeah, all the flag teams seem to have been dropping new unis, so everyone's looking pretty fire these days, to be fair. But I'd say my favorite probably is the Wolfhounds though. I love our jerseys. They're pretty cool. I'm very excited to show them off with the Europeans.
I do like the Wolfhounds. The white one now I particularly am fond of. I do like the white one.
Yeah, they're really sick. I managed to get kind of like white boots and white gloves with like green tick on it, so I feel like it's just all gonna work together very nicely.
So you will be coordinated for the Euros, and look, that's all you can ask for.
Of course,
it's just be
that's all you need. Like our drip is we're gonna be number one drip for sure. All the girls, we have our matching hair ribbons, everything. We have it all planned.
What was it? What was it Deion Sanders said, Dara? You look good, you play good, they pay good.
Fact.
There you go. And what a note to end it on. Listen, Evie, like I said, I think I've said it about 3 times already. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
We look forward to seeing you in the Euros. Maybe our paths might cross as well at one of the flag game days as well after the Euros too, for sure. But like I said, best of luck, and hopefully we will maybe even see you on the field. Maybe if we can organise some friendlies between the UCD and the Pirates before pre-season. No, we'll see. We'll see how we get on. But Fionn,
that'd be class. I'd love that.
Thank you, sir, as always.
Thank you very much, and best of luck to all the Ireland squads that are going to be in the Euros this year.
Exactly. We'll be back again soon with the third episode of our Women in AFI series. But until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.